Ethan, what were your impressions of how Nate Reavers really hit some key baskets for you guys?
My impressions were that I was excited. I mean, I was happy that we were getting buckets as a team, but also that it's always good to see, you know, guys get going that aren't myself and Meach, you know. And for him to be able to score those post baskets early, and then I remember 1-3 where I kicked it out to him and knocked it down. That was huge, momentum shift. So it's always great when you can have other guys step up, and they step up in a big way.
Jim in the back.
Ethan, you got a big lift from Khalil right out of the gates in the second half. How important was that just to get the spark going?
It was huge. We always talk about the first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the second half, and it's even more crucial when we're down. So for Khalil to come out and give us that spark right away, you know, that kind of led us in momentum to get this win.
Jeff?
Dietrich, you know, what Ethan was talking about, cutting that lead to 1, I think was the right way. How important was it in the first half when you're down 10 to at least get within striking distance at 5 by the break?
Honestly, it was super important to finally get some stops on defense, which turned into good offense. When we start getting stops, that kind of is a momentum shift for our offense, and then we can finally get the ball inside. We score a lot better once we get stops. So.
Dimitri, is it safe to say that sometimes you guys do better when you play from behind? You've had some sluggish starts. What made the difference in the second half, besides just hitting shots? I mean, anything necessarily that sparked you guys?
Well, first, it seems to be a trend right now that we're trailing at half and have to fight back in the second half. But we're going to work on fixing that starting at practice on Wednesday. So. But honestly, I just got to give it up to this team and the defensive end for the second half. We really stepped up and we really made it tough for them to get easy buckets, which turned into good offense, like I said earlier.
In the back again, fellas, Joe.
Ethan, as good as the defense was in the second half, what were the issues in the first half when they were able to drive probably more frequently to the basket, dribble drives, than you guys expected?
A big thing was when they were putting us in ball screens and I wasn't up far enough. And once they can play with me on my heels, that's something that I need to work on and I'm going to continue to work on. And then there becomes a little bit of indecision of if I should stop the ball or go back to the shooter. So that's just something that, you know, that's kind of what college basketball is turning into, which is a lot of ball screens, and especially in transition. So just key to get up to the ball screens.
Ethan, I think after the NC State game, you mentioned how you wanted to start stronger in the first half. You had 8 and 3 tonight in the first half. Do you think you did anything differently tonight at all?
Not especially. I mean, compared to NC State, they came with a hard double, and for most of the game, they just let me play one-on-one with some hard digs. So that's always something that I enjoy, and I'd rather play one-on-one with hard digs than having a straight double.
Any more questions for the players? Jeff?
For Dimitri, what did Pritzl give you as well tonight? I mean, didn't score a lot, but it seemed like he was able to make some time in the plays.
Yeah, even in the Iowa game, Brevin had some big rebounds. The NC State game, he had some big rebounds. He's just showing up in the timely possessions that we need him to, and whether that's hitting a big shot or getting a defensive rebound and then knocking down free throws like he did tonight. So it's just good to have him back mentally and playing at an all-time high confidence-wise. It's good to stay in his year that way.
Obviously, happy for our guys to be able to find a way when we weren't particularly at our best all the time, but I thought the second half we did some good things defensively. And obviously got the ball to go in and did a better job of knocking down shots. It's a Big Ten. It's going to be rough. It's going to be competitive. And it's probably nationally top to bottom, as you've all heard. It's going to be one of the best leagues in the country, if not the best in terms of the depth. And this is how it's going to be. So We got some good contributions to that Iverson spark he gave us at the start of the second half. Really ignited us, and we were able to play much better, much more consistent as we went through that second half. Questions?
Right here, Coach.
Coach, what are some of the things that you think they did well, or you guys didn't do as well, that contributed to that sluggish start in the first half?
Well, I thought defensively we weren't as good in terms of stopping the ball, dribble penetration. Too many times we let it get in the paint. So that was, we talked about that at halftime. I thought they did a much better job in the second half. We adjusted a couple things, which I think helped. But that was bottom line. I mean, first, number one rule is stop the ball, regardless of transition or in the half court. And second half, we were better.
Jim in the back.
Greg, you've been a pretty good second half team this year. The flip side of that is that you've needed to be. Is there anything to that? Is there any concern there? Or?
Played good teams. I mean, look at the stretch we've been through. You'd expect it to be competitive. You'd expect, we knew when we saw the schedule kind of evolve through last spring and into the summer, that this was going to be a heck of a run, a stretch we were going to have to go through, and you're going to have to learn through the ebbs and flows. It's not going to be as you want it all the time. It's not going to be as perfect. That's the challenge of this time of the year. Continue to try to get better, and when things don't go well, regroup in a timeout, regroup on the floor, regroup at halftime, and try to perform better the next time you have that opportunity. So I think there's been something different in every game. I mean, this group is learning and growing, and I think as time goes on, they've continued to improve in certain areas. So be able to play this game with only 6 turnovers, only one in the second half that was, a little too anxious freshman going in transition with Kobe. He'll learn from that. But I thought we did a pretty good job of taking care of the ball in the second half, and the shooting percentage reflects it.
Jeff?
Greg, please, from an offensive perspective, what do you hope Nate gains from what he was able to do tonight?
I thought he was much more aggressive in trying to post, and he can be effective there. I think that's still an area that we've talked about, him being aggressive on the glass and aggressive in trying to score in the post. And even, I don't know what he ended up to for 4 for 6. Yeah, that's why I need these glasses. 4 for 6. There were other times he was pinning and trying. We just didn't find him, or didn't have the right angle to be able to touch him. But I thought he was engaging contact and seeking, trying to get catches deep, and did a good job of that.
Greg, I know you just got done with Rutgers, but you've got Marquette up next. It's always a really big game across the state. If you don't mind, what do you think the biggest challenge is in dealing with them, and what do you need to get your group ready for that?
I mean, they're good. They're good. Good players. It's an in-state game. It's important in terms of the game of basketball for the state. Honestly, I haven't watched a whole lot of them. I've seen bits and pieces of times when they've been on, but other than that, I mean, I know the guys. I mean, Howard and the Hausers and Matt Helt, and go on and on. I don't know if Sakar Annam, probably name most of their roster because I know those guys, but good team. We finally get a day off tomorrow. We haven't had one in a long time, so we got to get ourselves rested and recovered, and then use the time we have to prepare to go play on the road.
Better front here, Coach.
Coach, you guys took a lot better care of the ball in the second half. What is that halftime conversation like to calm them down a little bit, and how were they able to be a little bit more clean in the second half?
Well, I think we did a better job of just better decisions. I mean, most of the halftime conversation was about the other end of the floor, what we needed to do defensively better to try to stop the ball from getting to the rim and in the paint. So, we have simple things we talk about. It's easy to talk about it. It's a little harder to do it and be consistent at it. So I think we did a better job of being stronger with the ball, not putting ourselves in positions of hazardous positions, getting caught on the floor in different areas. And, hopefully they understand how important taking care of the ball is, because it results in getting shots each possession.
Go ahead, Jim.
Greg Khalil came on and gave you 2 quick baskets in the second half. It seemed like he did a lot of other things, though, throughout the half. Do you think he gave you a pretty good sparring time?
No doubt, no doubt. I think defensively he's so versatile, and especially with them playing different guys at the four. You know, you've heard me talk about how the game has evolved so much that I look out there trying to find matchups, and there's rarely two bigs together. The positionless aspect of it, Khalil helps us become more positionless defensively, and you know, he's strong, he's athletic, he's got some experience. He's been in a lot of situations, he's had a lot of possessions in practice, so you would expect a senior that's had, you know, the reps he's had, the minutes he's played, to be pretty consistent on the defensive end.
Jeff?
Greg, I think you and a couple of the players said recently you guys wanted to see Pritzel start to be a little more assertive on both ends. Is he starting to give you, in the last 3 games, what you need from him, whether it's points, rebounds, whatever?
Yeah, and I don't get too consumed with points. I mean, I know that's a number everybody looks at from the outside, but I watch how are they engaged defensively, how physical is he on cuts, how physical is he in the post, does he rebound, is he mentally engaged and talking about the right things, and Brevin's been doing all those things. And I think when you do all those little things well, that maybe don't get the accolades or the attention, then offense has a tendency to find you. If you are starting to seek offense, you don't find it, and you have a hard time being consistent on all those other little things that that are difference makers in terms of where you're at the end of the game.